Cessna over the threshold, coming up on the white dot, at or beyond the white dot, left turn first available. I got a high wind coming up on about a half-mile final, clear to land at or beyond. Traffic on the left face, you're following a Cessna down, low off your left. Square it up just a little bit, and then we're going to get you in. Start your descent, though. Start your descent on the base. Traffic on final, give me follow on base. Base traffic, start turning toward the numbers now. High wing coming up on quarter-mile final, take it all the way down to the green. Cessna taxiing on the green, expedite down to the next hard surface. Get me some speed, there you go, go fast. This is going to be good. I got traffic on a mile final. You're following traffic ahead and to your right. High wing coming up on the threshold. Take it all the way down to the green dot.
5 Charlie Sierra, 2 mile final.
A mile final, turn north, and we're going to just make you, we're going to bring you back around. Jet traffic's coming up on about a mile and a half final. Runway 9 clear to land.
Okay, all right. Let's listen up, guys. If you're on final for runway 9, I want you to offset to the left. I got a jet that's landing on runway 9. The jet's cleared to land runway 9 if you can make it. If not, just continue straight ahead. It looks like you're going around for the jet. That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, we had one right in front of us, sir.
Dragger. Let's see. Well, we got a tricycle. Tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tail dragger, down to the green dot, then a left turn. Short final here. You cleared land on 9 all the way to the white dot. Go down to the white dot. Find somebody to follow out here. Canard, just come to the runway, and I might have to just send you around. That'll be fine. And for the jet, you just want to stay in this pattern, or you want to go back out for an instrument approach?
Stay in a pattern, Charlie Sierra.
All right, just stay with me here for a minute. And my tail dragger, and let's see, over the numbers, go down to the green. And Canard's going to have to go around. Canard, go around. Canard, go around. Canard, go around. And my high wing here over the runway, keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. You do not descend. Do not descend. You got a fast guy behind you. Do not descend. There you go. Keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. As soon as the guy behind you gets slowed down, I'm going to put you down. So keep it airborne. The one that just passed the white dot, make a left turn on the hard surface. All right, my high wing tail dragger, you can put it down now. You can put it down now. And Charlie Sierra, let me get you about a mile off. Let's see, Charlie Sierra, I lost. There you are. Make a left-hand turn. I'll try to resequence you here on the down ones. We'll see how it looks. Short final, you're clear to land runway 9 on the white dot. Clear to land on the white dot. There you go. And the tricycle left on the hard surface and follow the flagman. Welcome. Thanks for being part of the show. And let's see, just find somebody to follow out follow on the final. And as you get close to the runway, if it's not going to work, we're going to send you around and then try to resequence you. Now, who else got sent around that's not back on the downwind? The Canard?
Yeah, Canard.
All right, Canard, there's a Gulfstream up there that went around too. I just lost sight of him, but you're going to make kind of a left-hand turn and stay low. I think Charlie Sierra, what's your altitude?
3,200.
Okay, that'll be fine. Just maintain VFR. I don't know what else is up there above you. Probably most everybody's down here, so just make a left-hand turn. We'll try to get you back here.
Canard's got the jet in sight.
Okay, the RV, maybe an RV-10, whatever, here on final. Keep your speed up and go all the way down to the, aim for the green dot for me. Actually, keep your speed up. There's a guy behind you. Aim for the green dot, and I'm sure that's plenty of room for you to land on runway 9. You're clear to land on runway 9. Number 2, you're going to go down to the white dot. Follow the white dot. Actually, you know what? That's 1,500 feet. You're going to land at the white dot. The spacing looks adequate here. 2 guys on final. You're kind of tight there. Keep each other in sight, and you're going to aim for the white dot. If it's not going to work, we'll come up with a plan B. We might have to send you around. The second guy behind you out there in about a 2-mile final. Are you slow enough to be able to follow that guy in front of you? You need to go around. Well, I probably shouldn't ask that because I had about 5 guys answer me, so I should know better than that. After 35 years, you would think, right? All right. So let me see. The guy who's number 1, it's number 1. What kind of airplane is he? An RV type. All right, RV type. Keep it airborne for me. Keep it airborne. And I got a fast guy behind you. The number 2 guy over the trees there. Go ahead and put it down on the numbers. Put it down on the numbers. My first guy just coming up on the numbers at the over the grass at the numbers. I want you to keep it.
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Hello.
Three, two, one.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. And I swear there's more comments before the show gets started now than when we first got started.
I think you're probably right in the whole half an hour. Do you remember when you
Yeah.
used to do half an hour? Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you very, very much for joining us. And we hope you're going to enjoy tonight's live stream. We certainly will. We got a whole bunch of stuff, including a recording from Simon Keating, who couldn't be here himself, the usual news, and all sorts of other interesting things. But before we get onto any of that, we ought to do a little bit of explaining, because poor old Dave there, he caused quite a bit of a stir in the comments last week. Everyone worrying he was in a broom cupboard, or where his nice studio gone, if he'd been kicked out onto the street, if he was in a toilet or something like that. Dave, would you like to explain?
Right. Well, I'm in the middle of moving houses, and we can't move into the new old house yet, because we've got builders and they're doing stuff. I can move in about a week's time. So hopefully by this time next week, I'll be back in my nice study. But in the meantime, I'm confined to the smallest room in the house in this little rental that we've taken around the corner. So that's it. There's just here, there's a blinking great beam, which I hit my head on almost every single day. So that's the explanation, I'm afraid.
People were concerned, and it was bad enough when they thought we put you in a home.
So, thanks for that. As I've said before, Simon's not here, but he did send in a video. So let me just play Simon's video so you can see what the weather's going to be for all the flying you're not going to be doing. But frankly, looking at some of the forecasts for the weekend, even if we could fly at the moment, I suspect not many people are going to go flying, particularly on Saturday. Anyway, here's Simon.
Well, good evening, everybody. Sorry I can't be with you this evening, but I've got to perm my hair tonight, and I just wouldn't have time to get it done before I had to be on the live broadcast. But I hope that you're doing well. I've got a forecast for you for this evening, and in a moment as well, I've got a forecast for Return to Flying Day, the 29th of March. More on that in just a second. But for those of you that can fly this weekend, Sunday's looking the pick of the days. Saturday looks pretty windy. You see here that we've got this strong westerly wind across the country. Notice there those troughs, and if you join me on the Flyer Club webinar last night, you'll know those troughs are areas of heavy showers, sometimes thundery showers as well. Now they're going to bring frequent showers across much of Ireland, across Wales, across England during the course of Saturday. More persistent rain affecting western parts of Scotland as well, but better across eastern Scotland. I think some heavy showers too affecting northeastern parts of England. So really Saturday is not the best of days. And you can see here on the cloud forecast chart that, well, quite a bit of cloud around, so it's not the best of conditions. Now for Sunday, things are improved. It's still pretty windy. You see there the isobars still close together, but it does look to be a better sort of day. So I think we will find some showers affecting western Scotland, northwest England, western parts of Wales, southwest England. I think some more persistent rain affecting western parts of Ireland, but generally towards the east and through central areas, conditions are flyable. Base is about 4,000 feet, tops at about 10,000 feet. So you see what I mean about Sunday being the pick of the days. And just looking at that cloud, you see most of it is out towards the west. On these charts, white is cloud. So you see most of that is out towards the west. Eastern areas generally faring better through Sunday. And then into Monday, the 29th of March, Return to Flying Day. This is how things look at the moment. Pretty consistent story to the chart that I showed you last week. High pressure is out in the Atlantic. We've got these fronts that are moving their way eastwards. And I think what they will do is bring some rain across parts of Ireland. But most of the UK, yes, apart from a few showers in the west, is looking okay. It's nothing dramatic at the moment. A westerly wind, probably at about 10, 12 knots, something like that. But that looks to be flyable conditions across most of the UK. Of course, it's still a very, very long way away, and anything can happen. But at the moment, things aren't looking too bad at all. Now, if you want to learn more about the weather and being able to plan up to 5 days in advance yourself and do that rapidly, then get yourself along to Aviation Weather School. I've got my next part one on the Saturday mornings of the 17th and 24th of April between 09:30 and 12:30 hours. It'll be great to see you there. You can find out more and book your place now at weatherschool.co.uk. There's a single place remaining on that course. It'll be great to see you there. Okay, I will leave you with that for now. Have a great weekend, whatever you're doing. Watch out for that wind on Saturday, but as I say, Sunday looking a better day. And then keep your fingers crossed for the 29th of March. Let's hope that chart stays like that. Thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining. Have a great weekend all. Bye for now.
Thank you, Simon.
People were all a bit concerned that Simon's glasses were missing.
Yeah, I wonder if that affects the accuracy of his forecasts.
Well, who knows? I've just got to point out. So we've not had actual YouTube nearly royalty on here before, but watching in the comments is Corrie Robin, famous for being one of the Stoll Cowboys. Yes. Anyway, Corrie, thanks for tuning in. And
good evening.
Some of the other viewers obviously recognise that. So fantastic to have you along.
Can I just say something, please? Given the recent interviews over the weekend, let's just not talk about royalty. I cannot cope with any more royalty stories.
No, this is good royalty.
Jolly good. I just want to pick up on a quick point that Simon mentioned about flying again on 29th of March. I was looking through my tweets just now, and I saw a tweet from Martin Robertson, who was our guest last week, who said that the CAA have confirmed to him that people can go and get their medicals with their AMEs from 29th of March. I know there's a bit of a dispute over what's guidance and legislation and all that kind of thing, but the guidance is you're good to go get checked out after the 29th of March. So, right, moving on to the news. Before we start the news, I just wanted to say Fly Alive is going extremely well. We've got some fantastic support from industry. We've got some great sponsors, some great stand holders. We're working on some great content, some great guests. Keep a date for your diary, 12th to 16th of April. And if you're in the industry and you want to participate in Fly Alive, which is effectively a festival of aviation to get everyone back in the air, flying again, learning to fly again, it incorporates Learn to Fly Week. So each night we'll have some stuff about learning to fly and different aspects about learning to fly as well. There's all sorts of other great stuff. So don't be afraid to come along and watch or get in touch if you'd like to participate. That would be fantastic. Dave, I do believe you have a lead story for us, or a story anyway.
Yeah. I'm laughing because most of the comments at the moment appear to be about my toilet roll, which has just disappeared.
He's not that nervous.
Anyway, the lead story is about, we've called it the infringement tale. And this is the story of a pilot based at Manchester Barton who wanted to go for a flight. This is in December, before the ultimate lockdown. He wanted to go to a nice, simple flight. He would go into a place called Rawtenstall. I don't know where that is. Anyway, he was heading out. It's his first flight for several months. And he was also very conscious that his aircraft, an Evector EV-97, painted silver, was not very easy to spot. He'd been told there was another aircraft in the area, and he was a bit worried about this. So, naturally enough, he was keeping a good lookout. But while he was keeping a good lookout, he allowed the aircraft to climb a little bit, and he drifted into Manchester's Class D. Easily done. And one of the interesting things is that he was talking to Manchester Barton. He was still on their frequency, and they have an ADS-B flight information display like this. And they were able to tell him, you're too high, and you've got to, It was complicated by the fact that he normally flies with a mate, and his mate has a full iPad moving map display. But in this case, his mate wasn't available, so he was just relying on a mobile phone, which was parked the other side of the cockpit, and he couldn't actually read the altimeter properly. So whereas he thought he was flying at 1,800 feet, he was actually flying at 2,800 feet. Anyway, it was all sorted out very quickly. He descended, got back into the right layer. It took 3 minutes, and he didn't cause anybody to change course or anything like that. Being locked down, there was nothing going into Manchester main airport anyway. So the good thing is, when he got back to Manchester Barton, he decided, I've got to learn some lessons from this, and he wrote it all up, admitted he'd made mistakes. It's all detailed on the Airspace safety website. There's some good stuff there. He admitted that he was rusty. He got distracted by the fact that he was keeping a good lookout. Easily done. So I guess there's a little bit of a moral here is when we all start flying again very soon, that kind of thing can easily happen.
I I've got a different moral from this that I took, and I realise I might be in a minority of one here. But when I look at that, which I think is a 1/4 mil chart, the moral is that's completely pants for navigation. Why would you ever try and navigate with a 1/4 mil chart? Just get a moving map. Get a nice, clean moving map. You can get it on your phone. You can get it on your tablet. Don't wait for your mate if you normally borrow your mate. Get your own. It's not that expensive, and use it. It just makes life so much easier. I'm not entirely sure how I'd actually go flying these days without a GPS. I know Mark 1 eyeball, stopwatch, and all that malarkey, but that would be my.
Yeah. Maybe he should have taken a leaf out of the drone infringement book and just said, no, wasn't flying at the time.
Right, over to you, Ed. I think quickly.
So there's some free money available. We all have free money, and this week the British Women Pilots Association announced its 2021 aviation scholarships. It's provided by BWPA and CATS Aviation, Bristol Ground School, Easy PPL, and a bunch of others. And there's 15 in total, which is amazing. There's 3 flying start scholarships, £1,500, 2 flying high ones of £1,000. Anyway, go to the BWPA website and check out what they've got to offer. It's obviously scholarships for women pilots to advance their flying training. But anyway, it's fantastic. Who doesn't love free money to advance your flying training? So this is really good.
Too right. Yeah, talking of free money or money that people are going to have to spend, the long-awaited EASA proposal for a notification of an airworthiness directive has been out on the Piper Wing Spar thing. So this kind of, I don't know if you remember, we spoke about it before, but the FAA issued an AD a little while ago, but they used a way of calculating hours and fatigue that really wasn't anything that we could really cope with in the way we do things. So this is an EASA AD, and they've come up with something called an EASA factored service hours, an EFSH calculation. So that you do various bits of, basically there's a decision tree on the AD, and you kind of follow the decision tree, do some calculations, and if the answer from your hard sums is over a certain number, you have to do one thing, and you have different times to do it. Anyway, cut a long story short, you need eddy current testing of your holes, and you just need the whole calculation is about whether you need them or not. If I owned a PA-28, even if it was pretty young and underused, I think I'd just get the eddy current inspection done anyway. So which I suspect most PA-28 owners are.
I would love it if the decision tree starts with, is it a Cherokee?
Yeah, how much money have you got?
Yeah.
No, but it's kind of out. I think this is just a notice to propose. So I think it's like a couple of weeks for people to comment on it. But it seems like it's inevitable coming down the track. So get your eddy current holes tested now. Would be my suggestion.
Who's next?
That's me,
Johnny.
Yeah. So we've got news. So pilots who are holding UK national licenses, aka the old Pooh Brown PPLs, they will be able to allowed to fly Part 21 SEPs, so airplanes and touring motor gliders, under a new exemption that was announced this week. Now, what's Part 21? That is what used to be known as EASA aircraft, so Cessna, Piper, Diamond, all those certified types. Now, the exemption is going to last until the end of June. But before it expires, there will be a permanent change introduced into legislation. But certain conditions do apply, like the aircraft needs to be on the G-Reg, you can only fly in the UK, day or night, but only VFR, with no cost sharing. There's a few other conditions applied to that as well. But the purpose is to let people regain competence and familiarisation to cover a specific differences associated with those aircraft. That's how the CAA have put it. But I think I might just be able to hear Ian coming along with something to say.
I feel there's a rant coming.
I'm afraid you're right. This is going to be a bit of a rant, and it's a bit of a rant because, well, that whole bloody licensing thing, what a mess it is. So we've been talking to the CA, we've been asking the questions, we've invited them on here. They haven't actually come so far, so we made our own little version of the CA. So here are the people who are basically in charge of general aviation. If you don't know who they are, on the left, you've got Grant Shapps, Secretary of State for Transport, Robert Court, who's the Aviation Minister, Sir Stephen Hillier, who's the CA Chairman, Richard Moriarty, who's the CEO, and Rob Bishton, who's Director of the Safety Regulation Group. So these are the guys who really have the power, and all of them, and I'm sure they're all very, very well-meaning, and I mean that genuinely, want to make the United Kingdom the best place in the world for general aviation. It's a bit of a lofty goal, but that's what they want. So anyway, let's have a think about this, though. In terms of licensing, we've got a few PPLDs around still from the old microlight days. We've got some MPPLs, which are MPPLs for SSEA, touring motor gliders, microlight stuff. We got the lifetime Pooh Brown PPLs that Johnny was just talking about. We've got LAPLs. We've got LAPLs with EASA written on it that aren't really EASA LAPLs anymore because we left EASA, so they're just UK LAPLs. And then we've got EASA LAPLs for people who solid. I'm not sure how many of those there are. We've got EASA PPLs with EASA PPL written on it that are really part FCL PPLs now. And then you've got EASA PPLs for those who solid and went somewhere else, solid state of license issued, who moved it, which is all a bit weird. And then layered along also that, we've got the pilot medical declaration. Now, we've got pilot medical declarations for aircraft that are equal to or less than 2,000 kilograms, but that depends on which license you had in the first place. It's another thing came out. Then you've got the pilot medical declarations for aircraft, for any aircraft, well, it's not any aircraft clearly, but aircraft over 2,000 kilos, but it covers the one underneath it as well. Then you've got LAPL medicals, some of which are issued by an AME, some of which are issued by a GP. Then you've got Class 2 medicals, which in the second year, depending on how old you are, instead of ceasing to become medical, reverts to a LAPL medical. Frankly, the whole thing, and I realise that all of the stuff has been done in order to kind of try and get people flying and keep people flying, but it's a complete and utter mess. This is just a fantastic opportunity for you guys, yep, and I mean you guys there, to just come out, be brave, do something super simple, super effective. There's plenty of examples of best practice in the world. Just go and pick the best ideas. And, you know, actually, this is your one chance, well, not your one chance, this is probably your best chance to come out with a system that is world leading, world beating for once. Just go and do it. It can't be that difficult. It isn't that difficult. Just stop making it complicated. What we got at the moment is ridiculous. Bloody ridiculous. There you go. That rant's over.
I'm looking for the comment here that I just spotted. There we go. Darren Lewington says, "Is that steam from his ears?"
No, but it will be.
I'm liking your tiny little regulators there. That's lovely.
Yes, they're nice. I keep them here. They can join me whenever I need them.
The little cardboard cutouts is like their level of inactivity at the moment.
I didn't say that, Ed. I didn't say that.
I think you did give them all a bit of a haircut, though, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. Or also Stephen Hillier's. It's like completely shorn over the top.
I think to be fair to Sir Stephen, that might have more to do with my crafting skills than his hairdresser.
Shall we move on?
Yes. Who's got the next story?
Who's got the next?
So the next story is about flying cars. Yes, them again. And this is Aeromobile. This is a Slovakian company, and they've been slogging away for 10 years, and this is version 5, and it's just completed a series of flight tests to meet some EASA certification standards. They're aiming for EASA CS23, which is the same as normal light aircraft. This presumably is a prototype covered in I can't see you type graphics. In fact, it looks a bit like a dog's dinner, to be honest. And anyways, it's flying. It's going to put it flies very well apparently now, and they're hoping to put it on sale in 2023 for £5 million each, or something like that.
Oh, no!
But if you spend 10 years in development, it's got to cost a bit to actually make it and put it out, hasn't it?
Wow.
So, hands up, who thinks flying cars are one day going to be commonplace?
No.
Opportunity.
I think no one asks the question, "Where's my flying car now?" Do they? It's a bit like, "Where's my jetpack?"
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
That could be a thing.
It could be. You never know.
Yeah.
Ed.
Yes. So, nearly like a jetpack, a helicopter. Some of you may have seen there was a video that appeared through Instagram this week Some guy in a helicopter, obviously at the moment we got national lockdown, decided that he would go and collect his sandwich, flew an 80-mile trip to go and get his sandwich from a farm shop. A few people in the news, a little bit perturbed about this. I'm not sure whether it reflects very well on aviation. Any thoughts, guys?
Not really. No, there are better ways of getting a sandwich.
It wasn't a sandwich. This is up north, remember. This is a barn.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
We'll let him off then.
Yeah. Anyway, the farm shop thought better of sticking the video on their Instagram and removed it, but not before it had gone completely viral. So
I think it's all over the place.
What was more scary was the guy who walked out to the helicopter with the sandwich forgot to duck and nearly got decapitated.
No, I think if you know helicopters, the right way to approach a helicopter with rotors running is at 90 degrees to the cockpit.
The right way to approach a helicopter is with a bazooka, isn't it?
Well, I thought it was quite a nice helicopter, actually. Use 500.
So I think we could have hit the record for the number of people upset in one item there. And while we're upsetting people, I'm just going to have a little mini rant here, and I do apologise for this, but there's been a whole bunch of stories. There was a story in the news the other day that an aircraft was flying over the Cotswolds looking for meteorite bits or something, or so someone thought, and they got reported to the police, and the police said, "I'll figure it out." There's just a whole bunch of stories. Right, people who sit on FR24 and look at it and then report things to the police or anyone else. Complete waste of time. Forget it. Find some other hobby. Go pick your nose or something. Don't do that. It's a complete pain. If someone does something that's a problem, there are things to deal with that. It's not down to you. You don't have to be the bloody police. We don't want our neighbours or our electronic neighbours these days twitching on us, for God's sake, all the time. Stop it. Just stop it, okay? Don't do it.
Maybe they're sat there with Dayglow jacket on, promoting safety.
Nothing wrong with clipboards.
Yes.
Keeping the skies safe.
Hello, I've got FR24 here.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else have we got in terms of news? Oh, yep, Dave.
So yes, this is a story. We're just mentioning Sussex Flying School, Flying Club, which was based at Shoreham. It's just had to close the doors, presumably a result of the pandemic, and it's been a tough year. We want to just acknowledge the fact that flying clubs around the country, flight schools around the country, the ones who have survived the pandemic, survived lockdown, survived students not being able to complete courses, survived the winter, and now, 12th of April, they've got a bit of relief coming up. I mean, well done, guys. If you manage to open on the 12th of April and manage to keep flying, and you're in business, well done. You've probably had the toughest time of all. So, shout out to the schools, airfields, and businesses based on airfields.
Yep.
Well done.
Department for Transport, do some stuff for the lower end of GA.
Yeah.
And publishers.
Okay, so now it's time for the right stuff.
Quick. So, I'm sorry, I'm multitasking. I'm not very good at doing that. As it's International Women's Week, and there's been a whole bunch of BWPA scholarships up for grabs, we thought who better to invite than one of their former winners. So, a live stream welcome to Laura Mayer. Hello.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on. Thanks for coming along. So obviously, Johnny's got some questions for you. But first, we're going to give you the Flyer Right Stuff quiz. So we've got 10 quick fire questions. Ian's got his clipboard because we know he loves to score. And so he's ready in the wings. And I've got the questions. Are you ready, Laura?
Yes, let's go for it.
Okay. Ian, start the clock. Go through or round controlled airspace?
Through.
North up or track up?
North up.
Aeros or long haul cross country?
Aeros.
Paper chart or tablet?
Paper chart.
Grass or hard?
Grass.
Badminton or Charlton Park?
Badminton.
Side by side or tandem?
Tandem.
Stick or yoke?
Yoke.
Glass or steam? Glass or steam?
Steam.
Steam. Oh, close. 9 out of 10 questions done. Well done. Ian, what's that score looking like?
You got a score of 70 in our Right Stuff quiz.
Nice.
Which is pretty good going, but we do need to talk about North or Track Up at some stage.
That's a debatable one, definitely.
Oh, that's the only one that Ian really cares about. So thank you very much for joining us. So I just thought we'd kick off. If you can just tell us a bit about yourself and your flying history and how you got into general aviation.
Yeah, sure. So I started when I was really young, about 14 or 15. My parents always got me into air shows. So obviously RIAT was a massive one for us, and just loved it. Apparently when I was really little, before I could talk, I was even interested in staring at aeroplanes. So I think it started then. I managed to get myself into Cotswold Airport, and I managed to win a scholarship there. And that was back in 2012. It was amazing. And it was just 2 weeks of just pure like aviation related things from everything. So even like, you know, engineering all the way up to flying, and everything in between. So that's fantastic. And then I managed to get a job with Freedom Aviation, who was there, and they basically helped me progress, you know, all the way through the ranks. And then I managed to do my ATPLs, my PPL, sorry, and then my ATPLs, then my CPL, and it just all sort of spiraled. And then I really just, as I was going along, I was watching all the instructors and thought, you know, that is really, it's just such a cool job being able to turn what you love into your daily work. And I thought, I can't stop until I try it. So I tried looking into jobs, and then Freedom was like, you know what, you should really consider being an instructor. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll try it. And it was really tough. You know, FI was really, really eye-opening. But once I did it, I just did not look back. It was amazing. So, and then here we are today. So instructing has just been insane. It's been really
fantastic. So if we go back to the scholarship, just talk us through a bit about, so this is run by Cotswold Airport. I think they have 10 to 12 people each year whenever they run it. Can you just tell us a bit about the specifics of the flying side of it? So did you get any flying out of it, and what sort of experiences you got from there?
Yeah, definitely. So back in 2012, it's a little bit different now, but in 2012, I managed to do a couple of hours fixed wing, and then an hour in a helicopter, and we got an aerobatics experience as well. And that was insane because it was like, you know, it was all of the industry that you could do flying. And those hours just meant that, and I think we got an hour gliding as well. And that just meant that we could see everything, you know, feel everything, and then judge what we liked, what we didn't like, and then we could progress further. And all the flying schools were really, really positive and just welcomed us, which was really nice because as we're such a young age, sometimes we did get overlooked as kids. But it was really nice because everyone was just so warming that you saw what you wanted to see. And obviously flying for me, fixed wing, I was just like, yes, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. So was that your first light aircraft experience as part of the scholarship, or had you flown before?
Yeah, that was my first flight. And I remember turning around to my instructor at the time, and we were just about to take off. And I just turned around and was like, you do realise this is my first ever flight? And he was like, really? Oh, we best make it a good one. And, you know, just little things like that will just stick in your mind forever. And that's something that I carried right through into my FI, which really got me through my instructor course as well, which was amazing.
Yeah, fantastic. So bringing things forward, just talk about the British Women Pilots Association and how the scholarship helped you, because I think you were a winner last year, weren't you?
Yeah, that's it. So I've been a BWPA member for only a year because I haven't really looked into it before. And someone suggested that I should join it, and it's been amazing, especially through lockdown. It's been really nice to have that sort of community that we can still keep it going even though we're not flying. And I won Flying High Scholarship, which meant that I could basically just put some money towards furthering my career. So obviously I've not been able to use it yet because of lockdown, but I'm really excited to use it in the future. And, you know, BWPA not only have been financially supportive, but also just, you know, supportive in the sense that we just feel we can talk about things, you know, openly, and everyone I've spoken to has been really warming and just been like, these are my worries and concerns, and then everyone's shared it, and it's been really nice.
Yeah, good. So you're now doing some work with the BWPA, aren't you, to help provide some training?
Yeah, that's it. Just voluntary work, just whilst I'm, not doing anything. It's been really fun. We've kind of just formed like little chats and stuff, and we're just trying to keep up like the theory side of things, and we all just kind of bounce questions off each other. And we've been doing some like radio practice where one pretends to be an air traffic controller and the others pretend to be aircraft or like airspace scenarios and stuff that like other people haven't done. They've like sort of shared experiences as well, which has been really fun. So yeah, we're just voluntarily just offering little tuition nights and stuff. So that's been really good to get involved with.
Great. And has it surprised you how many people have been in your kind of similar situation in terms of female pilots wanting to get into the industry?
Yeah, kind of. There have been a lot of people, and it's been really nice because we're all kind of spread out across the country and globally as well. It's been really difficult to kind of to link up with these people. And I think lockdown, although it's obviously separated us, in a weird way, it's kind of brought us together because I'm speaking to people that I never would have spoken to otherwise. And that's really nice because there's a lot of women that I found that's my age that are doing the same thing as me, which is really exciting. So hopefully we can get a lot more going.
Yeah, brilliant. So coming back to the future now, your instructor side of things, just talk us through what aircraft you've been working on mainly.
So PA-28s mainly. I'm definitely a PA-28 kind of girl.
And have you been using Citabria at all?
Yeah, kind of. I don't instruct on it, but it's just one of those things that I've like to keep as a like hobby for me. So I've still got the hobby kind of thing as well, which has been really nice.
Yeah. So and just obviously being an instructor, you get to visit lots of airfields around the UK. Have you got a favourite
around the UK? I'm going to be really boring and just say Kemble because it's from my home. Obviously, I've got a lot of sentimental value with Kemble as well. But I think it's a really good airport because it's just exciting and it's really controlled, like on the radio. But yeah, it's actually really relaxed as well. So and it's a great runway, super fun. It's massive, so you can't go wrong. And everyone's just been really nice there, so I've always liked it there.
Great. And can you just talk us through like one really standout moment from instructing where it's really been like, you've just felt great about it?
Probably I had a little lad who was a family friend, and he was being like a little bit bullied at school, and felt actually really, really insecure. And he was told about, he basically loved aviation, and he loved everything to go against, he loved it all basically, and was really, really enthusiastic. And he won't mind me saying that he got a little bit bullied at school. And I brought him up to the airfield and he looked around the aeroplanes, and he absolutely loved it. And he started just blurting out questions left, right and centre. And his mum actually had to pull him away and go, all right, that's enough. Like, won't do any more. And as he got older, I managed to actually take him to his first flight. And it was just insane to see that, up there, he was safe from everyone and he could just be who he was. And it was just really nice to see his passion just be everything. And I managed to be able to be the one to do that. And obviously the flying school freedom as well. And it was just it was just really nice to see. So that was probably one of my moments where I was really happy with everything.
Brilliant. Now with instructing, you've managed to travel quite a bit. So can you just talk us through some of your European cross-country trips? What was your favourite?
Yeah. Oh God, there have been so many amazing places, and they're all amazing for different reasons and because of the different weathers and stuff. And one of the best places was one that was really just out of the blue. It's really random. We didn't know we were going there, and we're looking at these places and we're like, yeah, we'll go here. And I can see actually someone in the comments, Dave Eads, who is up at Easter Airfield. He came with us on the trip, so we'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And we went to Grenoble in the Alps, and it was so beautiful. The weather was amazing, and it was just one of those places where you just sort of had to sort of stop and be like, oh my God, we're actually like in the middle of the Alps in this really, really nice city. And we stopped, got a little bit of fuel, and then took off again, and we managed to just go up the valley a little bit turn right, and just lo and behold, we saw Mont Blanc like come out of the clouds. Literally something out of a film, and it was just amazing, and that will always stick in my mind as something that I managed to see with everyone. So
Brilliant.
definitely that was.
And through all that travelling, can you just quickly, can you rate the UK for general aviation against some other European countries? How does it compare?
The UK is good, as long as you're not scared of airspace. That's the main thing, because once you get outside, so like France and Scotland is just like airspace is just so dead, but then you get the mountains and stuff. I couldn't put a number on it, but it depends what you're after.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us. It's been really great to talk to you.
It's been so much fun.
I'll just put this. I think that Michael Pear sums it up perfectly. Passion perfect. The mark of a good instructor, Laura. I'm listening to that is just fantastic.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Right.
Really good.
So we'll send you off into the green room because we've got Fantasy Hangar coming up.
We have indeed. So Ed, what are we doing for Fantasy Hangar then?
Fancy Hangar. So, in honour of International Women's Week and obviously those fantastic BWPA scholarships that are going on, we've gone slightly left field and picked our favourite famous female aviator. And obviously, when you pick a famous female aviator, that also comes with an aeroplane that they're famous for flying. So, who's first?
It's Mr. Corderwood in the smallest room.
Right. So. The aviator I've chosen is Bessie Coleman. She was the first African-American, male or female, to receive a pilot's license. Her aircraft was a Curtiss Jenny. You can see her standing on a wheel here in a purposely designed outfit. She was born in 1892 in a time and grew up in a time when flying wasn't possible for if you're black, let alone female. It just wasn't going to happen in the States. So she went to France, learned French, took flying lessons there, and got her license in 1921 from the FAI. She came back to the US and began to form as a barnstormer, which is one of the few ways of earning money back then as a pilot. She was a very successful and popular one, and her goal was to establish a flying school for African Americans. However, 5 years later, in 1926, age 34, she was up for a flight with in a newly acquired Curtiss Jenny, flown by her agent. The aircraft went out of control for some reason. It went inverted, and because she wasn't wearing her seatbelt, as they were wrecking the site of a parachute jump that she planned to do, she fell out and was killed. The aircraft crashed, and her agent was killed as well. Later, a mechanic's wrench was found jamming the controls.
Right.
Tough one. Anyway, her legacy lives on. She inspires many young African Americans, even now, to enter aviation. And every year, on the anniversary of her death, African American pilots fly over her grave in Chicago to drop flowers.
Wow.
So, guys, follow that.
That's a good one. That's a difficult one to follow too.
That's what a bloody tragic story that is.
Yeah. Who's next? Is it me?
Plenty of these barnstormer pilots did not survive.
No.
It was pretty hazardous profession.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Ed,
who's next?
You're next up.
I'm next, am I?
Yeah.
You're next.
Yes. So I've picked. I've gone with Jacqueline Cochran. So Jackie Cochran's famous for a bunch of things, and I picked one of her records. So she flew a P-51C. To set a Class C1 world speed record of 437 miles an hour over a 500 kilometer course. But also, remarkably, she was the first woman to break the sound barrier, which she did. She had to borrow an F-86 from the Canadians. The US wouldn't lend her a jet. The Canadians said, no problem at all. Sent a team of engineers and an aeroplane. And she set a bunch of speed records in that Sabre and eventually broke the sound barrier in it as well. She was a big friend of Chuck Yeager, had a lifelong friendship with him. And she was the first woman to make an instrument landing, first woman to take off and land from an aircraft carrier, first to fly fixed-wing jet aircraft across the Atlantic. and she still holds more distance and speed records than any pilot, living or dead, male or female.
Right.
Good
Very
stuff.
impressive.
Didn't fall out of an aeroplane, though.
No. My turn next. I went for Jerry Mock. Jerry Mock, back in 1964, became the first woman to fly around the world, where Amelia Earhart didn't make it. Jerry did. She did it in a Cessna 180. Took her 29 days to cover the 22,000 miles. Jerry's probably comes a bit later than most people's choices here. In fact, she only passed away, sadly, in 2014, so not that long ago. The aeroplane is now hanging in the Hazy Center, Virginia. And Jerry Cessna kind of went up to Jerry. It was clearly a very famous airplane, and said, "Hey, your Cessna 180. We'd like to take it off your hands, and in return, we'll give you. I think it was a 206 they gave her. It might have been a 182. I think it was a 206." And she said, "Yep, okay." So she flew a 206. That was personally, I'd have said, "No, I'm going to stick with the 180. Thanks very much. You can keep your 206." But so there you go, Jerry Mock, fantastic aviator, flew around the world, had a great time. And did it first. 22,000 miles, Ohio to Ohio. Jerry, 180 are my choice.
Nice.
Who doesn't
Yeah,
know?
well, I have gone for...
Do we even need to bother with yours, Johnny? Or we just
yes.
vote me the winner straight away?
It's the best aeroplane. So I've gone for Pancho Barnes, who by all accounts was quite a character, born in 1901. She didn't end up in a fiery ball of flames, but she was the founder of the first movie stunt pilots union, which is a term that Ed will hate because he doesn't like the term stunt pilot. She did a lot of everything, really. She raced, she displayed, she barnstormed. She ended up winning the Women's Air Derby in 1930 and actually broke Amelia Earhart's world speed record. That's a world women's speed record. With a speed of 196 miles per hour. And she did this in the Travel Air Type R mystery ship. Now, the aircraft pictured flying on the right isn't the actual one. I forgot the name of the chap who built it, but Ed can tell us afterwards. She was also known as the owner of the Happy Bottom Riding Club, which is a bar and restaurant out in the Mojave Desert in Southern California. And she would cater for the legendary test pilots, people like Buzz Aldrin and Chuck Yeager. They were locals at her bar and restaurant. So that's my pick for famous female aviator.
That's a pretty good choice. I think they're all winners and all fantastic airplanes.
Yeah, my one's slightly more of a winner, I think.
Well, I think your one's probably more accessible to mere mortals like us.
There you go.
Mind you, it's the mighty 180.
There's a quote from Pancho Barnes, which I'm not going to give out here because it'll probably upset a few people. But at one point, I was thinking of getting it lettered across the wall with a whole load of other famous quotes in the office, but I never quite got round to that. So there you go.
Fantastic. There's looking through the comments, too many to list, but I've seen Jean Batten, Amelia Earhart, a whole bunch of others, favourites that have been named. So yes.
So interestingly, just a little small anecdote for a second. I was sitting down, I was having a conversation with Sebastian Pooley of Pooley's the other day, where we were judging the Dawn to Dusk competition, and Jean Batten's name came up. And Sebastian just casually said, "Jean Batten, oh yes, she was my godmother."
Wow!
There you go.
That's amazing.
It is, yeah, absolutely. So there you
Very
go.
good. Right, it must be events.
It is. It's events that aren't taking place. Dave, are you still
Yes,
there,
well,
Dave?
We've had enough of events that aren't taking place. Nothing much can happen before the 17th of May, which is when the government had said events can take place of a certain size and that sort of thing. So apart from Fly Live, of course, on April the 12th to the 18th, that can take place. So rather than sort of go through that big list again, I just thought we'd talk about a few things we'd like to do this summer. Now, for me, I'd really like to go to the summer solstice flying at Easter Airfield up in Scotland on the 19th and 20th of June. I've never been there, but I've seen pictures of Easter Airfield, and David Eades, the guy who runs it, is often on here. It just looks a fabulous place, and it's a good flight, from where I am now, down in the deep southwest. That would be a nice long flight. And of course, it always has great weather at Easter Airfield for a summer solstice flying, and I expect nothing else. So that's my choice. Anyone else?
Well, it's got to be LAA rally for me, and seeing as I've got 2 home builds, both currently unairworthy, I think September I've got reasonable chance of having them sorted by then.
Yeah, I go for Flying Legends at Sywell as well, because that's a new venue. But I did really enjoy reading Paul Cadell's Lockdown Locals flying adventure in the magazine, and Paul is in the comments. He got a really good view of RAF Spade Adam, which is between Carlisle and Kielder Water, which is not a kind of place that you can usually fly over. It's full of tanks and old Soviet aircraft and current British Army anti-aircraft machinery. So he got a really good view of that. So I'm quite jealous of that, and that's on my list for 2021.
So read the Flying Adventure in this issue's magazine if you want to see more from Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I quite fancy a trip, a little short trip down to Bolt Head, which is just under an hour away, and a walk along the southwest coastal path, Scotland again, and Easter, and all of and Mull and Glenforsa, and all of those places are fantastic. And if I've got time, one of the places I really, really, really want to go that I've never been to is Venice Lido. I really want to fly there.
Yeah, I've been there. It's good.
Yeah, quite fancy that one. There you go. Johnny, you tell us about the club?
Yes, so we had our Flyer Club exclusive weather webinar last night, which went down really well. We had over 150 people join us. So thank you if you did. I've emailed the link out to all club members so you can catch up, watch on demand if you did miss it. We've also published loads more content in the past week, including an exclusive chat with radio presenter and microlight pilot Ben Atkinson. Now, he was talking all about recording cockpit audio. So we can all stick GoPros in the cockpit, but getting good audio takes a bit more planning and preparation. So if you're a club member and you want to find out more about that, just go and check out the video. So if this sounds like content that you want to get your eyes and ears around, then just join the Flyer Club. It's currently £7.50 per quarter. So head to flyer.co.uk and hit the Flyer Club tab at the top, and you can join and get access to all this great content.
Absolutely. I like the way you said it. It's currently £7.50 a quarter. It will never be better value than it is now.
Than it is now.
Yeah. So is it going up then?
Well, you never know, do you? You never know. I'm not prepared to say at this point in time, but
okay.
But you would make a wise investment to sign up now if you haven't signed up already. Plus, there's a new issue coming. Ed.
There is a new issue coming next week on Tuesday. A whole bunch of stuff in, but the key feature in that is there's a fantastic piece about the Rolls-Royce Excel project, which is their work with Electroflight to develop a fantastic 300 mile an hour, hopefully beating electric, basically speed record setting aeroplane. So we've got some exclusive access with that. And so if you want to read about that, be looking for the issue next week.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, in the issue as well, I've been out testing this. This is the Better Bath Bag as supplied by Sporters in the US. It really is called the Better Bath Bag.
How have you been testing it?
I've been simulating. I decided I had a big meal. I had an all-day breakfast, and I got someone to go and fly some outside. I simulated some bath, basically. I communed with some bits of carrot.
Yes, probably for the best.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's that. I believe we are coming to the end. Have we got anything else? I don't
think so.
Laura, thank you very, very much for coming along.
Thank you.
I'm sure we can talk about the track up being a better way forwards.
I'll take some convincing.
Thank you to everyone for watching. Please don't forget to stick a date in your diary for the Flyer Live, which is April 12th to the 16th. And of course, we'll be back next Thursday with another live stream. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, and see you soon. Hopefully flying. Where are we?
I'm trying to find it.
I found it. There you go.
Thanks.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be chit-chatting with you.
I'm going to check out first little bit of footage.